Yes, yes,
Yes,
Jonathan.
yes, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so first of all, thank you so much all for joining the session, and I would also like to thank organizers for this opportunity. So today's agenda will today we'll discuss about what is Anypoint CLI, how we can use it, then how to set up, like what prerequisites we need, how to install that and set up. Also, we'll touch base on various use cases of Anypoint CLI where we can use that, and we'll try to implement the API lifecycle using Anypoint CLI. So let's get started. So basically, Anypoint CLI is a command line utility we use, which has like predefined set of commands that we can use to interact with various components of Anypoint platform. Right from like Anypoint Exchange, Design Center, any like Runtime Manager, uh, and the API Manager as well. So basically, so for like sometimes we don't have access to the on-premise servers like UI access. So in that case, Anypoint CLI is really helpful in order to manage and like deploy and manage our applications in the local servers. So it's specifically we can use that for Anypoint platform and Anypoint private cloud edition. So basically we can use that for local purpose as well. For runtime fabric, like we can't, like right now the MuleSoft haven't provided the support to the runtime fabric using Anypoint CLI. So we can like list down the application, but we can't really manage that. So for runtime fabric, we need to use runtime fabric command line tool. So it is RTF CLD. So that is specifically for runtime fabric. So this is about the Anypoint. Also, we can use Anypoint CLI for the script as a scripting tool as well. So we can write various deployment script, alerting script, like shell script and bash script, and we can use those script in the like in the CI/CD pipelines and promoting our code using Anypoint CLI. So that is one advantage of using Anypoint CLI. Yeah, so about the use cases, it has variety of uses. We can use it for administering our Anypoint platform account. We could create the environments. We could like manage our environments. Also get the complete details about the account, business groups, users. Also, it help us in the design center application, so where we could create, upload, also publish those applications or APIs to exchange from the design center using Anypoint CLI. So, and then also we can use the Anypoint CLI for the in the runtime manager. So basically, we can deploy our application. We can update, delete application in the runtime manager. So using Anypoint CLI. Also, we can use it with local servers as well. We can manage our applications in the local runtime. So that is one advantage using Anypoint CLI. Also, we can create and manage our VPCs and dedicated load balancer in the Mule runtime using in the Anypoint CLI. And also we can write the deployment script, and we could create the release pipelines within Jenkins or Azure DevOps using Anypoint CLI. So these are some use cases. So now about the installation and the setup. So for installation,
One
yeah.
second. So there is a question like, can you use CLI to create API manager policies?
Yes, we can create the API in the API manager. We can apply the policies. This is the question, right? We can
Yeah,
create a
yeah.
policy. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We can. I'll show you how can we apply the policies
Sure,
on the
sure.
API in the demo later.
Okay.
Now about the installation and setup. So for
Uh,
installation,
Sorry to interrupt, Jeevan. I have a question myself. So, the CLI can be used as an automation tool and also a CI/CD process, isn't it? Am I right?
yes. We can not as in a CI/CD process, but we could write automation script like the deployment script, and we can use those script in Jenkins and Azure DevOps.
Okay, cool. Cool. Great. Thanks, Jivan. Yeah.
So about the installation and setup, so the prerequisite for this is to like having Node.js npm and the Git. So this the endpoint CLI is built on top of npm, so we need Node.js and then the Git. So you have to download and install Node.js and Git. So those are like it's pretty straightforward. So once you download Node.js an npm, you have to execute this command npm install. Sorry, npm install anypoint ECLI. So there are a couple of ways we could download, we could set up the anypoint CLI, the online and offline. So like for I'll show you the demo. I'm going with the online setup, but if there are some scenarios where we can't there the host will be restricted to use the online npm. So in that case, we can use offline setup where we have to download the zip file, tar file of Anypoint CLI, and that would help us to set up this Anypoint CLI offline. So once you execute this command, it will okay, yeah, once you execute this command, it will be get installed in your local. So I can show you how it looks. Yeah. So once you execute that command, it will be get stored. It will get created the command script and PowerShell file inside this app data roaming npm. So what you can do, you just use the cmd. So before that, we'll see how what are the authentication steps. So then we have to go ahead with we can use any of these three methods for authentications. So we can like directly use our endpoint platform credentials, username and password. Also, if we have the connected apps, so in that case, you can use the client ID and client secret of the connected app. And also you can use the bearer token. So if you use the bearer token, it will avoid the username password and directly use it, but the access will be restricted until the bearer token is like valid. So after the expiration, it won't be valid. So to set up authentication, what we have to do is we have to create one folder dot anypoint inside your user, and inside that you have to create uh, the credential files. So the credential files will look something like this. So where you have to add the user, so the default user where you provide the your anypoint username password. Then other profile, if you have any other user, you could add that, and then the connected app. So where you have to provide the client ID and client secret for the connected app. So what I did, I have created this dot anypoint folder. So dot anypoint folder inside the my user, under my user, and over there I have created this credential file. So inside the credential file, I have provided my default users and environment and the host. So these details I have provided. So let's try to connect to the Anypoint CLI. So inside EM, I'll execute this in the command line. So CLI. Then I'll provide the username. You don't have to add this in a code. If it has space, then you should add it in code. Otherwise, it will work without code. Yeah. So now it get connected to the Apicero is my business user. So I just created that. So it got connected. So by default, if you have, so if you don't specify any environment, by default it will like connected to the production environment. But I am using trial account and I haven't created any production environment, so it got assigned to the design environment. So yeah. Production. Okay. So
Jivan, sorry to interrupt. So what we have done now is we have installed the this npm, and we have added this Anypoint credentials into that folder, isn't it?
yeah, I'll summarize quickly. So what
Sure.
we have done, we have installed the in npm, then we have installed the git. Okay, and then what we have done, we have created one folder answer dot anypoint inside user. Okay, and over there I have created one file, a text file called credentials, and inside that credentials file I can show you. This is anypoint dot anypoint folder, and inside that credentials I have created one file, and I have mentioned my username, password, and the organization.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Got
So
it.
and then I use this command anypoint CLI. So if you don't use username and password, it will directly connect to the default user.
Mm,
Uh,
got it.
Otherwise, it will connect to the user that you have mentioned. So we have connected to the episode. Now let's talk about the commands. So the same, sorry. Yeah. So we have command groups, and each command group has a different set of commands, sub commands. So we have account group, which will be more responsible for managing our account details, like business groups and the environments and the user details. So the API manager is mostly for API manager activities like creating APIs, applying policies. So those detail deploying, managing APIs. So similarly for cloud hub, we can use for deploy and manage our application in runtime manager. Similarly with data graph design set and exchange. Now what, so it is like autocomplete. So we just, if I mention any point, sorry, and if I just have to double tap, so I'll get all the commands below it and how we can use that. So we have all these commands. So what I'll do, I'll create one account environment. I'll show you how to create that account create. Sorry, just have to the environment name. So I'll create a stage, and we have to provide the type of that environment. So it should be either, it should be sandbox or production. So I'll create a sandbox environment. Just account environment list. It will list out all the environments that we have. So what I'll do, I'll delete this environment that I created, and I'll switch to the sandbox. So that is the environment that we are going to.
Okay.
Yeah. So we'll switch to the sandbox environment. So got switch to sandbox environment. So also,
Cool.
if we need, let's say we need the business group details. So we just have to provide account business group. And we provide, sorry, right?
Business group describe.
So, provide the, yeah. So over here we can see what type of account this. So this is master account. The subscription, right now I'm using a trial developer subscription. Also, it will provide what all accesses we have, what all, like how many vcos we have, how many workers we have, vpcs, vpns, and object store. So all these detail will get over here, and then also details about the environments that we have. So it's design, sandbox, and development. So
Cool.
the Israeli environment I have created. So about API lifecycle.
Yep. Meanwhile, like, we can take a couple of questions, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
So one question was, how do we pass jar file to be deployed? Nexus repo path.
Okay, I'll share you how, like, I'll show you in the
Yep.
demo how can we use that to deploy. Okay.
Sure, sure, sure.
Yeah.
So next question was, can we control access rights for creation and deletion with respect to users from command line? Good question.
So the access management is not, like, it's not supported by CLI. So this is proposed to MuleSoft, but they haven't like really supported the access management through CLI. So unfortunately, we can't create. I guess we can create a business group. Sorry, we can't create the business group also. But yeah, like, it's hard to manage the.
Sure, sure.
Yeah.
So, Jeevan, to summarize, we you just showed us how to create an business group, how to delete a business group, and how to view all the details of the business group, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, cool. Mm, cool. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jeevan. Let's continue.
Yeah. So now let's go to the API lifecycle. So basically, API lifecycle process involves the planning, the designing, the validating, and the implementation of API, and also the maintenance of API. So basically, it starts from the requirement from the group regarding, like, which will be a requirement from business for the integrations until the process of maintaining the services. So that will include in the API cycle. So basically, in the design phase, there will be the design center where API designer, we could create API specification. We'll add all the required users, all the required resources, the methods that we need, the properties of the resources. Then we can use the mock services to validate those APIs. So once we validate that, then we can also use the API console to validate. That will be generated after you execute your RAML in the Anypoint Studio. So once you design and validate, quickly validate the API specification, we'll go to the implementation part where we can develop the API using IDE, basically with the Anypoint Studio. And after the implementation, we can test those using minutes, which is similar to like, we can use those, create test cases, unit test cases, and we can test using a unit. And the next process will be to deployment. So we can deploy using Runtime Manager. And we can manage those API using API Manager, and also we can publish those API to the exchange so that outside a developer can use that, or outside world can use that. So API cycle, and I'll show you how we can implement this API cycle in. So we'll create a design center project here and provide one email. Yeah, I'll provide the type. First, you could get it to verify that. Okay, I'll just refresh over here. Yeah, it's user demo API. So what we'll do, I'll provide. So I have a paste. I'll just upload that into that user. Sorry, to that. Just give me. So I have uploaded the API. So if we can go here. Yeah. So this is a like has only a couple of endpoints. Post. So basically, the user so we can and the users from so as we can service member. So once we can here and then exchange. Yeah. Publish. So while publishing API, we have to give a couple of yeah. So first of all is API version. What API version we have? So right now I have it's V1. So I provide the V1 and the version of API. So if I go to Exchange, so it's 1.1.1. So I will provide the publish to Exchange. So we can just quickly check the API on Exchange. Yeah, username API. So we have published with 1.0.2. So it's a mocking service. So like once we add create the API for this in the API manager and add the policies. So this API. So API instance ID. So I'll show you how that is done. So once you publish this API to Exchange, so what we'll do, we'll create a implementation on top of this. So we'll okay. Yeah. So I have created this API. So I downloaded this RAML specification from Exchange and implemented that. So I can show you that as well. Yeah. Yeah, we have this username API, so we can just click this and import this in Studio. So I have already imported the API and it has a couple of methods, so I can show you. The first is get method and the post method. And what I have done, to like create a real-time scenario, I just added a query to get all the. So I have added the Salesforce dependency over here, and for the get method, I'm getting all the like use accounts from Salesforce, and the post method, I'm creating account in the Salesforce. So these are a couple of methods. So once you can test this on local. So once you test this, let's deploy this API in the Anypoint Runtime Manager. So for that, we'll use the Runtime Manager. So Runtime Manager, Cloud Web Applications, deploy. So we have to provide few properties. So first of all is workers. So I'll provide one worker. So default value is also one. Then worker size. Worker size is 0.1. So default value for worker size is 1. So we'll just provide 0.1 vcore. Then the region. Yes. East. Provide this as a system. And then the API names. So let's provide certain API. And after that, we need to provide the path like jar file. So what we can do is, let me see if I have path of jar file. Yeah, I have this path that I copied. So I kept this jar file over here. So I exported the API and I created the jar file. So this is the jar file that I'm going to upload. So I'll just provide the it'll take some time to deploy it.
Yep. Meanwhile, I think we can take a couple of questions.
Yeah.
Jivan.
Yes.
One question from Ashley is, are these commands using Anypoint Platform APIs internally?
Yes. On yeah. So the basically Anypoint CLI uses the platform APIs underneath.
Okay, cool. And one question from Raghav is, will the APIs be published privately by default?
Oh yeah, it's
I didn't.
privately available. Yeah, it's privately by
Okay.
default to the exchange, right? Yeah, it's private.
Yep. And Victor was asking how to put all this in a script.
Okay, I can show you that as well. I haven't created CI/CD, but yeah, I have a small
Sure.
script.
Cool. Jeevan, just to let you know that your voice is a little low. Maybe you can increase your mic, or a mic sound, or a little bit higher, and would be enough. Yeah.
Let's try.
I think it sounds. Maybe. Mm, yep.
Yes. Still.
Yep. Maybe you can little bit raise your voice and talk.
Yeah.
That would be enough, I think.
Yes.
Cool.
That would be the good. So we'll go
Yeah.
to the runtime manager.
Cool. So meanwhile, from Raghav again, is there any command to publish it to the public? That should be manual, I guess, right?
Yeah, I guess that should be.
And one more question from him itself: can we provide any Artifactory URL in place of local path?
Yes. For jar, right? For deploying the application to runtime. Is it right? Or...
Yep. Yes, for jar. Yeah.
So in that, yeah, we can provide the Artifactory locations. In that, yeah. While creating the jar. So this is how this is how we can create the script. So I haven't created it. I just got from. Internet. I'm working on the CI/CD. So yeah, it involves like creating the endpoint.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Let me answer that question, Raghav. So, Raghav, when you come to CI/CD, right, especially if you have stages that you can define, and the stages, and for each stage you can provide command lines. You can write. There is Groovy script. If you check Jenkins, there is Groovy script, and you can also do it with UI. So there are multiple ways that you can do, but depends upon the design and how do you create. And you can also create a Jenkins file. There is an option to create a Jenkins file as well, where you can add all your scripts, and provide that. So basically, that we have to decide what stages that we want, whether it's unit testing or automation, testing, integration testing. You can include Artifactory, saving the artifact files. So all these things depends upon the stages that you set. We can include the commands in our CI/CD pipeline.
So it's still deploying. So we'll get the status like what is undeployed. Yeah. We can also provide various options while like deploying the application. So I can show you that as well.
Cool.
This is the link which has all the list of commands. So they have like documented this pretty good, well. So while deploying, we can provide these variety of properties. So we can provide the property if it is a single property, we can just add that like environment value or if any password or credential we can pass through single property, or we can create a property file and we can add that. So this is also another option. We can add the details about persistent queue, static I. So we one thing is we can't provide the static IPs. We can only like enable or disable. So we can't assign the static IPs. And then object v1 option. So by default it false. We can add that if you want to manually provide this option. We need to see the status. Just Runtime Manager. Yeah, it got started. So you can see that it got started. I'll just quickly test. Okay, sorry. So we have tested post method. So one user got created, we got success response, and one user got created. So similarly, I'll test the get account as well. So get method with user. Yeah, so here we can see the list of accounts that are in the Salesforce. So the API got started. So what I'll do now is I'll create a API manager on top of this API, and we'll try to apply add the policies. So for that, Anypoint Manager, API, provide the API name and what type of API it is. Fine. Okay, let me just verify the command. issuing the command.
Even do we need to check the version in the Exchange, how it is?
Yes, yes. Check that.
And the user space demo space API, right? It's not.
Yeah.
Sure, okay, got it.
It's 1.2.0.
1.0.2, yeah. Maybe we to give hyphenated value user space demo space like that. No, not right.
No, yes. And just copy this command.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, sorry, I was using the API, so we should use. Yeah. So if I just refresh this, yeah, it got, and we can see the API ID that created. So this is the one, and if I go to the API manager, yeah, so this API is got created. So now what I'll do, I'll try to apply the policy. So what you can do, API.
So even one doubt here, does it created an endpoint with Paul's proxy or a basic endpoint?
Right now it's a basic endpoint, but it supports the proxy. So for that, we need to, yeah.
Yeah, but we are not specifying any type there, right? So by default, it's basic endpoint then, is it?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes. You can list the policies. So yeah, so you have all list of policies that are currently in your account. So if you created any custom policy, that will be listed over here, and you can use that as well. Also, we have to provide the policies version. So what I'll do, I'll just API manager.
Cool. Given one question here. So
Yeah.
not every customer will have this API manager option. So is there any option in Anypoint command to CLI to check whether they have any API manager access or not?
I guess what we can do is we can describe our account, and from there we can see that that should work, I guess.
Okay, you mean the business group
Yes.
describe?
Yeah.
Okay, got it, got it. Yeah.
Let's try that. If we can get those details.
There it is. Schedule 0.
API Community Manager, it's false, I guess. So this might be the option. I'm not sure, but
That's
it always
different.
gets little.
Got it. Yeah. I got it. Yeah, that's fine. Thanks.
So let's try to create a policy on top of the API. So for that, I need to copy the API ID. That got created. I'll just then we have to provide the policy version. So you can see that policy version over here. Yeah, it's 1.2.3. Okay. Oh, sorry.
I think the spelling
No,
is wrong.
no. I have to mention the API ID. So,
Yep. Again, like client spelling, I think you have to check it.
yes.
Cool.
For some policies, like for this one, we have to provide the authentication header, client authentication header. So for that, so this is the way we can. Okay. It's not pasting. So over here, what I did, I mentioned one config property where it would allow the client uh, original HTTP basic authentication, and where we are providing the client ID and the client secret as a header. So I'll just enter this. Okay, again it has an issue. Okay.
So your API ID is the. I have to change the API ID here.
Yeah. Again, it has this issue. Policy, collateral enforcement policy version is 2.0. Okay. It's my mistake. I'm sorry. Oh, okay. So what we have to do is it's not uh, configured for Mule 4. It's just configured for Mule 3. So what I'll do, I'll just that we can see over here. So if I go down, it's for Mule 3 and above. So we need to update this. So Runtime Manager.
So now it just created another instance, isn't it?
Yeah, yes, yes. I should have deleted that, but it got created.
No problem.
Yeah. So
Cool.
policy applied and policy ID is created. Just refresh this. It got created 2 instances. So it's, sorry, I have to I should have deleted this instance and then we should create it. And if we go to the policies, yeah, we have applied the
Client.
client ID enforcement.
Good.
So to apply this to into the runtime application, we need to add the API auto discovery ID and the Anypoint platform credential, and we have to redeploy the application. So that will be applied to the runtime application. Also, we can specify if you have to provide any specific uh, like for specific endpoint or specific resource. So we can also add that using point cut. So what we have to do is just
Point cut. Okay.
sorry for applying the policy. Just point. Yeah, this point cut expression. So that will over we just have to add the endpoints, which are all endpoints we have to use, and the methods. Let's say user, and I just have to apply it on the get. So I just have to mention that endpoint and the method. So yeah, so we got about the next steps we have on.
So one more thing, how about the automated policies? We'll be able to apply for the environment. Is it possible from CLI?
Can you give me one example so I can?
Automated policy, for example, you can specify policies for environment, not for API.
Okay.
If you
No, I'm not
got it.
sure about. Yeah, I got that. But can we apply that through Anypoint Manager?
Yes,
Then
yes. Can you go to the Anypoint Manager? You should be able to see that. B- Go back, the API administration. You have automated policies. Can see that.
okay. Yeah.
So this will get applied to all the APIs for that environment.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So
I haven't tried this, but
okay. Yep.
yeah, we can. Also, if we add any custom policies, that also we can apply.
Cool.
Not sure of that. Okay, so That's about the demo. And regarding to the CI/CD, again, we just have to create. It provides us like a capability to create the script, write the script. So you can write the deployment script, alerting script, and we can add that in the Azure DevOps or Jenkins pipelines, and we could execute that. And I have one example. I haven't tried that, but this is how it got created. So over here, initially they have provided the command to like deploy, apply the package Anypoint CLI. Then it creates the .anypoint folder and then the credential file underneath. Then what environment we have to use Sandbox. Then this is the command to deploy the application, where we have created the variables at the runtime and provided to this command. So it will deploy the application using CI/CD.
Exactly. Okay.
Yeah. So
Cool.
yeah, this is about the demo. Do we have any questions? We can take.
Yep. So one question from Pratyush, not from Sravan. So this is a mandatory process in real time. I didn't understand that question.
Yeah.
Shravan, can you please elaborate that questions? In which scenario are you talking about? Meanwhile, while Slavin get back, let me ask Pratyush. So does this point cut helps in applying policies to specific resource?
Yes. So like I can. So you like we have right now. Let's say we have users and let's say we have another other orders. So we can apply to the users and also to the like, particular method as well.
Cool, cool.
Yeah.
And yep, the one question which Victor had, I think that's I asked how to extract API manager policies per environment. So that we need to check. There should be possibility, Victor, but we need to check that. I think it's surely possible. Yeah. Mm, cool, cool. We don't have any other questions
Yeah.
at this point. So guys, do you have any questions to ask? So we have to automate. So one question from Vikas, we have to automate the policies. How to get a template to make it parameterized?
Okay. I didn't like get the complete question like clearly.
Yes, yes, Vikas. I also didn't get the question. So what did you mean by parameterized?
Okay, you meant to say like if we are passing the rate limiting policy and we need to pass the parameters. I guess that is possible. So if that is your question.
Okay, yeah, that's it. Yeah, yeah, it's possible because how to get the client ID and client secret?
Okay, so about the client ID, what you can do is client ID and client secret will be. Okay, I just have to. Sorry for this mess.
No
So,
problem.
okay, it got out of. You can get the client ID that is. Yeah, so if this way we can get the ID name and the client ID. I guess client secret is again the account like access management things. I also didn't find any way to get that, but I'll try to find that and provide that.
Cool, cool. Yep. Okay, and I think we are good.
Okay, then should I stop sharing and?
Yeah, you can stop sharing. Yeah, I'll just. Balki, do you want to share your screen? I'll share.
For quiz, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Let me share, but you can. Maybe you can share like quiz part.
Okay.
Before we move on to quiz, let's add those slides as well. Okay, what's up next?
Yes.
You can show those slides and go back to quiz. Malkis.
Okay. 1 minute.
Yeah, give me a second, guys. Cool.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine. If you go to
So
the other
first,
one, yeah,
yeah.
WhatsApp. Guys, before we move on to quiz, right? First of all, I would like to thank Jeevan. So Jeevan, it was indeed a good session. Yeah, you are cool and composed. So thank you so much, Jeevan, for that. Yep. And guys, before we move on to quiz, so there are a couple of things. One thing is, yep, do register for other Coimbatore meetups. So we have the tags like meetups.mulesoft.com/Coimbatore. We have upcoming meetups coming up. And one more thing is feedback is quite very important. So if you can give us a feedback, whether it's positive or negative, what all things that we can improve. So it is quite important for us. So I appreciate you guys if you can give us the feedbacks at meetups@mulesoft.com. That would be great. Yep. And we have a couple of upcoming meetups, which is one is by API specification, RAML best practices by Ashish itself, Ashish and Abhishek actually. Abhishek is joining us for that RAML specification. And then we have Salesforce Einstein API. So the use of Einstein API, the machine learning, the natural language processing and computer vision capabilities, how we can integrate that with Mule. So Vikas Puri, who's an integration architect from NGS Labs, is sharing with us. So we have that on September 11th. Yep. Cool. Before we say thank you, let's go back to quiz. Yep.
Yes. So all please log in to kahoot.it in your mobile and then click on play button on the right side of the web page. Enter the game pin. I will share you the game pin. So you can see yours, give a complete name, not a nickname, give a complete name so we can identify easily who is getting winner and all. So please give a complete name. And you will be getting the question on this my screen. You can see a question on my screen, and you can choose. There will be an option with the multiple colors. You need to choose the particular color in your mobile. So your mobile, you can't see the question and answers. You can see all the thing in my screen, and you can just choose the color from your mobile screen. Okay. So every question you will be having 20 seconds to answer. So let's start. I will be sharing. So this is the pin you need to enter. Please give your full name, please. So anyone else joining? Okay. $27. Still. So anyone facing any issue to connect with Kahoot.it? Yes. Okay. Can we start, Anup?
Yeah. I think we can give a couple of minutes more, maybe.
Okay.
1 more minute. So guys, please join. So we have only less numbers, so probability of getting selected is more. Yep. Cool. So let's give a couple of seconds more.
Okay.
Yep. Let's lock it. Starting.
Okay.
Yeah. Sure. So let's roll on, guys. So you can answer it slowly, but please listen to the questions and answer it.
So what is the default environment value for Anypoint CLI if not specified? So choose the color which is in your screen, mobile screen.
So we discussed this today.
Okay, most of them answer.
What was the answer?
Okay, sorry.
Okay, no problem. No problem. Yeah. Go on.
Ashley is here. He's on top. Okay, next good. From Anypoint Platform CLI, you can allocate static IPs to the applications. Is it true or false? Right answer is false. Okay. And same one. Ashley, Pratyusha, and Imran. Okay.
Imran. Okay.
How to provide property value while deploying application in Runtime Manager.
Cool.
Okay, both ways we can give properties files and properties. So many answers, right? Again, Imran came on top. Okay, the next. We can manage the applications on Runtime Fabric using Anypoint CLI. False, we can't. Okay. So Raghava Ragana, Praveen Sundar came on top. So this is the last question. Which command is need to use when creating a new API instance in API Manager? Yes. Thank you very much. Okay, so let's see who is on the top. Praveen. Congratulations, Praveen.
Praveen Sundar, congrats.
Raghava, Ramana, congratulations. And Ashley's here. Congratulations, guys. Okay.
Cool. Yep. Congrats, guys. Please provide your email IDs here. So the email IDs should be registered with training.mulesoft.com. So please provide those email IDs.
Yes. So thanks everyone for joining. Thanks, Jeevan, for giving the wonderful session. Thank you.
Yep. Thanks everyone. Thanks. Appreciate it. Yep. Nice. So thank you so much, guys. Yep. Thank you.
Oh, sorry. Okay.